What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel as always. So I finally had an opportunity to bring my Polygon Siskiu T7 out to the trail, and as promised, I filmed a trail review to give you guys some real life impressions on what I thought about the bike. What was interesting about this entire ride is that there were things that I expected to dislike about the bike, and there were things that I expected to like about the bike. But after riding it, I realized the things that I thought I would dislike really weren't so bad and actually did quite fine. In fact, the things that I disliked really just boiled down to one thing, which we'll get into, but most importantly, we'll also be talking about all the merits of the bike and all the ways that it surprised me that I truly did not expect. Stay tuned to the channel, because over the next few videos, you're gonna see how I optimize this bike to my preferences, and it should be pretty exciting. Without further ado, let's get on the trail and see what this bike's all about. For today's video, I'll be riding the Mount Zion trails in Brookhaven, Mississippi. Special thanks to the guys at Mount Zion, as well as another special thanks to Bikes Online for this amazing bike.
It's been a long time, ladies and gentlemen, since I've been on the trail due to a lot of weather, and this is the maiden voyage of the Polygon T7. I'm just entering the trail and I can already tell how grippy and borderline slow rolling these V-tire flow snaps are. If you've heard the rumors about them being slow rollers, I think it's true. But maybe they'll shine in the downhill. You can hear some spokes settling because it's all so new. Barely even got to ride this thing around the block. So on the last video, somebody asked, and only one person asked, which surprised me, what's the weight of the bike? Well, guys, right out the package with no mods at all, you're looking at 38 pounds. Yes, 38. This bike is an ox, but we'll see how that translates to trail time. And then, of course, as I own it longer, I'll be modifying it and trimming the weight off. The goal for this bike is to see if we can get it into the 32s. So if you want to see that, make sure that you just stay tuned to the channel, because I'm going to try to get it there and I'll show you how. Shimano Deore shifting perfect. That's what I would expect. Ooh, pedal strike, wasn't expecting that so early. Then again, these are 175 cranks and I'm used to 170. So these do extend a little bit lower than what I'm accustomed to. Will I be changing that? Yes. It's actually climbing pretty good. This bike may have more anti-squat than my Da Vinci. All right, here's the first decent climb. Let's see how we do. I would actually say this is very good linkage. I wasn't expecting it to climb this well, especially at the weight that it is, but it's not bobbing. Like, it almost doesn't feel like it's bobbing at all, which is pretty incredible. Not something I expected from a sub $2,000 full suspension. Side note, normally the contact points are one of the first things to go on a new bike. I just want to say that these stock grips are actually pretty awesome. That's not a monumental thing because new grips are about 30 bucks, but I don't know, these grips are good. You may be able to save those 30 bucks. First descent, let's see what kind of speed it carries coming up this next hill. Decent. I judge it by the wood bridge and I didn't have to pedal till the end. Should be coming up on some descent right here. Nothing crazy, but some berms. It's hugging them well. Just sinking into the suspension, loading in, letting it do its job. Feels good. Surprisingly enough, I thought by now I would have already felt my typical woes of the RockShox Recon fork. It's not really bothering me today. I don't know if they've changed it recently, or maybe it's the geometry of this bike plays to its strengths. Not sure. I have every intention of changing the fork, but for what it's worth, the fork's doing well today. And we're gonna put it to its test right here, because this leads into a 4-foot drop. It's about a 10-foot tabletop jump, so here we go. I haven't hit this in a while. Nice. All right, cleared the top too. That was nice. Yeah, the bike handled that well. Into another descent with a downhill 2-foot drop. Let's get it. Nice. Wow, the suspension is extremely progressive. It feels awesome. 2-foot hook to flat right here. See what it do. Just fine. Yeah, maybe they did change the Recon. You know, even though they look the same as they have since 2017, maybe they've changed them a little bit. Reach on this bike is 480. I'm coming from 485. Believe it or not, I actually do feel a 5mm difference, but I think it'll be fine once I put wider bars. I plan on putting 800s on this bike. All right, another descent. It's got a little tiny step down in it. Should be able to get some decent speed here to get a feel for this thing in the chunder. Up, up, nice. Oh yeah, feels awesome. And you know what? The Shimano hubs that are included on this bike are phenomenal for the price tag. I wouldn't expect to get a set of hubs this nice. Woo! Nice. Held speed all the way up through this, that's good. These are all good things, folks. Coming in real steep here, nice. Sweet. As aforementioned, I thought my main gripe would be the fork. It's actually not. My main gripe today, so far, would be the tires. But if you got the Schwalbes, problem solved. You don't have to worry about that. One of the things I expected to dislike before I even got the bike in was the Tektro Orion brakes. I'd only owned really low spec Tektro, and I mean, these aren't exactly high spec, because otherwise they would be labeled TRP. But I guess these are more like mid-range, and they're pretty good. Will I change them? Yeah, down the line. But is it the first thing I would change? No. So let's recap while I'm cruising through all this scenery. If yours is equipped with V-Tire, first mod, tires. If your bike has the Hans Dampfs, don't switch tires, you got good ones, lucky you. What I would look at after that would be probably still the fork, even though it's doing a good job today. Another thing with Recons is they tend to not have the best small bump sensitivity, because to limit bottom out, you normally have to overpressurize them because there is no volume spacing options. We're gonna go up wishbone here because it has a pretty steep chute, which I think will play to this bike's strengths. Right here. It's really tight right now, holy crap. Hello. Woo. Yeah, sweet. And slop there, slinging all over me, but the bike is doing just fine. A lot of people were griping about this saddle too on the internet, and I don't find the saddle to be bad. Other than the way it looks, I could keep it a long time. I'm just not a fan of the stripy pattern on it. It's a little too much for me. But again, shocked by how much anti-squat this bike has. Pink Bike was very quick to say that this bike bobs in the climbs, and in many ways I think they're just being ninnies. Again, not blasting Pink Bike. I love watching those editors. They have some really good personalities on Pink Bike, but the Polygon climbs fine, I assure you. Maybe they're just comparing it to some $10,000 pivot that they were given, because I'm sure the pivot would do a better job with that level of R&D and that price tag. Woo! Yeah, that felt awesome. Man, this thing really handles the descents, and I think that is partly due to its slack head tube angle. We're rocking a 65.5. My last bike was a 66.5. So this feels a little bit more stable and more excited to plow down the steep stuff. All right. Let's go. Yeah. Woo! Cleared that bridge. Oh, that was sick. This thing really does well in the descents. Oh God, this must be a tough hill. He didn't even make it. But then again, he is rocking the notorious Ozone Ultra Shock. Could have been part of his problem. Let's proceed. Please remember that there is a link in the description below where if you order a bike from that link, my channel gets a small commission and it helps make sure that I can continue to make good videos. So keep that in mind. I appreciate it. We're pretty much done for now. Get a little speed. All right. That was good. I like it. Good bike. Well worth the price tag. In my opinion, there's no definitive weak points, especially if you are lucky enough to get the Hans Dampfs.
So if you're looking for your next sub $2,000 trail bike, look no more. I believe the Polygon Siskiu T7 is your answer. With its perfectly balanced spec, there were no sore thumb compromises, which ensures years of enjoyment whether you choose to upgrade your bike or not. If you have any questions about the Siskiu T7 at all, make sure to leave a comment below. Other than that, make sure to subscribe so you can be on top of all of my latest videos. And you already know the ride is secure, and I'll see you in the next one.